What it do, people? We're back for another episode of Emano Talk. I got a very special guest in the building today. Bill Goldberg is here, everybody. What's up, Bill Goldberg? Shout out Bill Gold. No, I'm just kidding. I got Kurtiz the Kid with me.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy KTK. Honored to be on Emano Talk.
Hey,
finally.
man. It's kind of ironic because, right, 2019 is ending, and it's like, I feel like when you and me really started to, like, click as friends, it was because of music.
Yeah.
And that was really, like, 10 years ago when we were, like, killing shit at high school, like, on all these shows and stuff, right, man?
With six strings.
Six string at Everglades,
Yeah,
man. But even at that, like, we were really, like, doing shit on our own because it was, like, with Mr. Gator and stuff. We made our own remixes and stuff. But, hey, man, it's crazy how time flies, right? 10 years later, look at where we are.
10 years later, right here.
Right? Still here. Same
Still
people. No new friends, right? That's something we learned this decade, right?
Yeah, no new friends.
Yeah, but, hey, it's good to have you here, bro. It's
Yeah, man,
impromptu as
appreciate it.
fuck. Like, I literally just hit you up. I was like, yo, you just need to pull up. And here you are.
Yo, I pulled up, man, just literally straight from Cold Stone. So
Straight
if you
from
saw
Cold
me,
Stone.
I'm eating my ice cream still. I'm not even done with it. But, yeah, man, we're here to talk.
Hell yeah, we are, man. And that boy even picked up his merch today. So
Oh.
if y'all bought your merch, check your emails because you might have a pickup email there to pick your shit up. Because look, KTK got his, and we big vibing now. Even got the Caroline on too. So shout out to Caroline. I caught my coffee mug. About to go pick it up later today.
Shout out Caroline.
Yeah, man. Shout out the West Side in general. I mean, that's why the last song I had to play was Out West because we out West. We big vibing. It's how it's been the last 10 years. It's going to be the next 10 years as well.
Sure.
How you feeling heading into 2020 though?
Honestly, man, I feel good. This past 10 years, man, I've accomplished a lot in a lot of aspects of my life. So I'm excited to move into 2020 you know, just better and stronger than I came into this decade with. You know, music coming out very soon. Very soon. Very soon. So
You were playing me those teaser tracks, man.
Yeah. So super excited about that because, you know, I haven't put on anything personally in some years actually.
Yeah,
So,
wow, bro.
Just been working behind the scenes. So
It's crazy, man, right?
yeah.
Because it was like 10 years ago for you, you were signed to I Got Records,
Yeah.
right? And you were like the superstar of our like high school class in a sense. You know, you were like the front man in a sense of like the
Yeah.
entire class because like you had My Swag out.
Yeah.
You were killing shit. You were, you know, having songs with Mac Miller even,
Yeah.
right? And it's like 10 years later, it's like now you're more behind the scenes and you understand what it's like to kind of be like the engines rather than like, you know, the body of the car.
Yeah.
How do you feel that transition went for you, like as time has gone by? I mean, especially 10 years later.
It's kind of crazy. It's like it's like a pendulum almost swinging back and forth between the artist thing and the writer thing, and you know, I was doing the artist thing like, you know, back then, and then I like fell back a little bit just because I had so many ideas that I wouldn't necessarily use for myself, but a lot of people liked it, and you know, I'm pretty good at melodies and lyrics and stuff, so I was like, let me start trying to write for other people. And yeah, man, I've just been doing that. Just been here, going to LA, going to Atlanta, going all over the place. I'm
Straight
working with people, a lot of people out in like Europe as well. So it's cool. It's just you know, I'm always creating, and like I said, I have so many ideas that I wouldn't necessarily use for myself, which is like a gift and a curse because, I mean, I just, you know, I'm never running out of stuff.
I mean, I even remember when we were in like Doyle's class and stuff, and I would just break out the guitar and I would start playing stuff. You would be like right off the top of the head, like whether you're actually rapping and like you're seriously rapping or like you were just fucking around and doing some melodies just cause like just to make shit sound smooth.
Yeah.
You've always had that kind of like talent, but looking back on it now, right? You were obviously very young when you got signed. How old were you when you got signed?
17 maybe.
17.
16, 17.
Looking
yeah.
back on it, would there be anything you did differently as far as that went?
I don't think so. I don't, you know, when people ask like, oh, what would you do differently? What would you tell your younger self, considering we're going into a new decade, right? So what would I tell myself 10 years ago? Stay the course.
Yeah, you're on path. You're doing just fine.
Keep doing what you're doing because I led you right here, and any mistake that you did learn, I mean, you did make, you learned from it, and you made better decisions because of those mistakes, and you're in a good place right now. So I wouldn't change anything. Just keep it going.
So now I remember this, right? One memory I have vividly with you, right, is when we're on the basketball courts at Miramar Regional,
Yeah.
and you're like, yo, you need to check this artist out. And you play me. I want to say it was like Nike's on My Feet. You played me, and it was by Mac Miller.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, we just signed this guy to I Got, and he's gonna go on and do big things with Rostrum
No.
Records.
He didn't sign.
Oh, he didn't
But
sign.
he was doing a lot of stuff with like I met Mac through Darrell Revis. So him and Darrell were doing a lot of things together, and you know, they were.
Well, he even says it in that track.
Yeah.
Revis take me out and shopping when I'm in New York.
Yeah. So no, we were doing a lot of things with Mac, but he wasn't signed to it. But yeah, I remember that. I was just like, yo, I met this dude out in Pittsburgh, and he's dope, and he's cool. We did a couple things together.
Yeah, I was about to say you got tracks with him. Well,
Yeah.
one of them was a Facebook girl, right?
Yeah, Facebook Girl. So that one, I'm sure you can find that on YouTube still or something. But we did a remix to, I believe the song was called Nasty Girl by Ludacris. And it was just an idea. Yeah, it was just like, yo, that's a Facebook girl. I was like, we just got on Facebook around that time.
Yeah.
So this is like 2010, 2011, give or take, when I think Facebook opened up, because Facebook used to be only for college students, and we weren't even in college yet at the time. So I guess they opened it up for everyone. We were all on it. And just the idea, man, just, you know, MySpace had kind of fallen off at that point. And Facebook was like that new thing. So it was like, yo, Facebook Girl. And I did that record, and played it for Darrell. Darrell was like, yo, this is dope. And then he played it for Mac, and then Mac got on it, and they sent it back to me. And it's crazy because I'm not even sure. I mean, we put that song out, but I'm not sure if it was like a big thing. I just remember that, like,
I think you just put it out, because I just remember one day you just brought it up on YouTube. You're like, yo, check this out.
It was just like, it wasn't like no huge thing. It was just like a remix we did. But I remember it got a lot of attention because like some Wiz Khalifa blog site or something like found it.
Yeah, and just like put shine on it.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Mac, though.
Yeah, for real. Rest in peace, Mac. Did you ever get to personally work with him?
Yeah, man. I saw Mac like a couple other times after that. Even when I was in college, when he would I was over at FSU, and he would do some shows and stuff, and we would meet up all the time. And I think there are like one or two more records that we did that I don't even have in my possession. It's in one of my old emails. I have to look for it, actually. But that one, no one's heard that one besides probably me, Mac, and Darrell, maybe.
Okay, so you got some in the vault that haven't even come out yet.
Maybe, man.
And
But
and it's crazy to think like of like the progression he made, and then like you made as artists, right? It was like two completely different spectrums in a sense, because like you went behind the scenes, and obviously he, you know, took off as like a superstar, but it was almost like you guys still had that same level of like professionalism and success to an extent. And it felt like, you know, it just felt like you never lost your step, even though it didn't look that way to the like the naked eye. Like when people are looking at your Instagram versus like his Instagram, for example, right? People wouldn't understand it, but it feels like you never lost a step in that sense. Now, I remember like you were telling me there were like times where you've worked with like Trick Daddy and some other artists. Like, is there any examples like behind the scenes or like stories you have from behind the scenes that like you feel like was like a memorable like moment within the decade for you, like as an artist, that, you know, you have your own music, but like you're also somebody that has you know, art towards somebody else's craft?
I mean, I have a ton of them, but like, you know, since you brought up like Trick Daddy, that was cool, considering, you know, we're from the South Florida area, and Trick Daddy's like, you know, like royalty over here, and we all grew up listening to him. So, you know, getting in the studio with him, when I actually didn't even know that I was gonna be with him that day. My guy Breeze, shout out Breeze, he hit me up, and I was doing a couple you know, hooks and records for, he was working at, like with Slip and Slide at the time, and I was doing a couple hooks and records over there for him. And he had just called me one day and was like, hey, can you come to the studio? And I was like, yeah, sure. I just had some new stuff I was gonna go play. And then when I get there, I walk in, and then we're like just chilling in this office, and I'm playing music, and then a door opens, and then it was like Trick, and he like walks in, and he's like talking to some people. He just looks at me. He was like, "What did do?" No, he was like, "What they do?" I was like, "Yo," I was like, "What's up?" And yeah, man, I guess he had heard of me just because you know, Breeze and Ted Lucas, who's over, I guess, Slip Inside at Atlantic Records, you know, liked my stuff and was like, I want you to come in and, like, you know, work on this album for Trick, and like Trick Daddy and Trina are doing an album. So yeah, man, we got in the studio, man, and we were just working, playing stuff, and then I had a couple records, man. And Trick was like, "Oh, that's fire! I'm getting Chris Brown on this one. I'm getting this, that, and the third." And it's funny because, you know, like we live like down the street from Trick Daddy.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I remember when I used to work at Cheesecake Factory as a busser. He used to come in there all the time. Like, he
Yeah.
was always there.
Yeah. So it's funny, like, and you know, we spoke about it too. I was like, you know, bro, like, he's like, yo, like, where you from? Like, bro, where's this kid from? Where you find this kid? And I'm like, bro, like, yo, I live literally like 3 minutes from you.
Yeah.
And he was like, for real? I was like, yeah, man, I see you at Target and at the gas station every weekend. I just never, you know,
yeah.
people living their life, you don't bother
Just
them
another
and stuff.
Miramar citizen right
you
there.
know. So yeah, that was cool. Yeah, we did stuff for the album, and I'm not sure what's happening with the album, because I know like shortly after that, like him and Trina like kind of like got into it over like creative differences with the album. So I know they're on good terms now because they have like that new radio show coming back up. So, you know, we'll see.
Okay. I could dig it. Did you get to see any of those infamous Trick Daddy rants?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Which one?
He did one. It was that day, and I can't like remember verbatim what he said, but it was something that like went viral.
Was it just like one of those things you're like, I just got to get out of here?
Just something he was saying, but I was there. I gotta pull up his Instagram and scroll down to like when it was, but I was there for like one of those. But nah, man, Trick, cool dude, man.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, he's like the forefront of like the South Florida movement in a sense. Like right after Uncle Luke kind of, you know, started to fall back a little bit, it was like he took over the game. Like, I mean, Trick Daddy's the first rap, you know, song I've ever heard. Shut Up was the first rap song I ever heard.
Yeah.
But speaking of songs we've heard, I mean, we were just listening to that little playlist. I know my mediocre DJ skills aren't exactly where everybody wants them to be, but I'm here trying. You know, I'm just using like a little app so I could entertain y'all a little bit. But I wanted to talk about that new Sunday service, right? Now, we started it off with the Father Stretch My Hands version that the choir did, right? And I really like that one because the reason why I blended the two together is, first off, because I love Cuddy's voice over the chorus, right? But with the choir, you heard how it kind of like, it meshed very well. But like, then when Kanye comes in the verse, I felt like it kind of like steered the track off like course a little bit. But how did you feel about like the Sunday service choir, and then it's like versus like where Kanye was not too long ago, headed into like where Kanye is? Like, what have you been digging about like Jesus is King and then like Jesus is Born?
I really love Jesus is King. I love that album a lot, actually. I think the message behind it is really dope. I think it's really great that Kanye is like using his platform to like let the world know where he got his talent from, and you know, and just showing everyone else who might be on that same journey trying to get closer to God. Like, you know, it's crazy. Like, you know, Kanye was a year ago Pornhub Awards and doing all the you know, going crazy, losing his mind, and I think now seems like he's like found his center in a sense. Like I don't know, he seems just content with, and just, you know, just chilling.
Yeah, he seems like he's in a good state of mind now as far as that goes. I mean, I really dig Jesus is King. I like Jesus is Born, but it obviously was a little more mellowed out.
I haven't listened to all of Jesus is Born yet. You know, it just came out like what, 2 days ago, maybe
3 days ago.
3 days ago.
It came out on Christmas.
Yeah, so I've been on the go so much these past few days, but I have to, like, you playing that was like the first time I actually even heard like one of the records like with headphones like that.
Yeah,
so
like,
I was
like
just,
in an enclosed environment.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's dope. I love that. I love what he's doing with that choir. Really great singers.
I feel like the conductor's the superstar of the whole choir.
Yeah.
Jason White. Jason White is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
What did you feel about the movie? Because I feel like now that Jesus is Born is out, now you haven't listened to it yet, but a lot of the stuff that was in the movie is on Jesus is Born, but it's obviously a lot more extended. So the total length of the album is like 1:30. I feel like the movie could have been the album.
Yeah, definitely. it's just dope, man. I mean, Kanye. I mean, you know, I love Kanye a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we went to the St. Pablo
Yeah, I
tour
remember
together
that.
actually. So when you were playing that record, actually brought me back to that night where we were uh we were gonna be sitting by like Mike Dean, like
Yeah,
right
and then
next
they
to him.
separated
Yeah,
us
yeah,
because then they saved that whole area
yeah.
for him.
Ticketmaster. We bought these tickets, and apparently it was in a part of the arena where there weren't supposed to be anyone seated, and we were like right next to like Mike Dean. And
Like
they
literally,
came.
Curtis was actually texting me. He's like, "Bro, our receipts are right next to Mike Dean." He was like taking pictures of the whole DJ booth. Like we were
Yeah,
right next. We were like 4 seats away from it, maybe.
yeah. And then they came and they were like, "Oh, sorry, no one's supposed to be here. We're gonna move you, but you'll have better seats." And I was like, "What do you mean better seats? Like, what better seats are there than this?" But I mean, the seats we had, they were dope.
We were like
a
fourth.
little-
Well, I know I was like fourth row,
Yeah.
fifth row, and
Uh,
then I know like
bro.
Courtney Kardashian was sitting like right by me.
yeah, yeah. I was by like him and stuff. So that
I
was
even met
cool.
Rudy Gay that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he walked right by me. I'm just like, "What's up, man?" He's just like, "Yo," and he just dapped me
Yeah.
up. And he just kept walking.
No, that was a cool experience. But like, yeah, Kanye. I mean, I love everything Kanye does, and like, I mean, Kanye, he's my favorite artist. So even things, I don't know. I always try to like whatever Kanye does. I try to like go into it with like a very open mind, and I try to whether it's like interviews where he's saying some cool stuff, some stuff that's just like, all right, I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta disagree with that. In a
Yeah,
sense.
you know, but I like the movie. I saw that movie. I saw the movie by myself actually. Um, it was dope, man. Like I said, man, I love what the choir is doing. I love how they're like remixing all these like older songs and kind of like giving them a new flavor. Uh, there's this one guy on it. I don't know him personally, but he's a songwriter which I really like. His name is like Ant Clemens.
Okay, I've heard of Ant Clemens.
Yeah, he was on I mean, he's on Water. That's
Yeah.
him. And that other song on like the Ye album, that Girl, you're supermodel thing.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay, I thought that was always Valet.
No, that's him.
Okay,
So that's actually the song that kind of that was like his first like big
like where people
thing,
really
I
got to
think.
hear
Yeah,
about him.
so he's really dope. I haven't met him personally, but I know a lot of my like songwriter friends and stuff that work with him a lot out in LA. So
Yeah, I feel like that's how you kind of like break through in a sense too. Is like as a songwriter, like
Mhm.
because like it's like for you, you're not only a songwriter, you're an artist as well.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm stepping back into the artist thing now. Originally, like
The
like I said,
return of
it's like
KTK.
yeah, it's like it's been like a pendulum in a sense where back in almost a decade ago, I was artist thing, like I had the records out.
You had the
had
Loco Star shirts.
yeah, we had the clothing line going. Like we had one of my records. We were on like had a video on like MTV and all that stuff, and then I fell back because I was like, man,
I remember
like,
hearing you on 99 Jams back in high school at a point.
yeah. So I like fell back from all that, and I was just like, I just want to like create, because I never cared about being famous, and some people like, oh, I want to be like on stage in front of like millions of people and stuff like that, which is cool. It would be cool. Some people want it for the attention. Other people want to be on stage just to have other people singing their songs. Like me, I've always just been like, I just want to create, and whether it's I want people to hear my stuff, and whether it's like out of my voice or somebody else just singing something I wrote, you know. So I kind of was just, and I was in school too and stuff, but I was just kind of like, I'm having more fun right now doing like the writing thing, and the writing thing, it still is fun, but now it's just I'm at this point where like I'm creating like so much. Like this year, probably have maybe 200 records, probably more.
Like of just your own music or just a mix of everything?
Of my music, I have like 200 records probably.
So all by Curtis the Kid music.
I have like 200 records probably this year that I
just
that
sitting
I did,
around.
That I did that 200 records that you guys will probably never
That's,
hear.
That, my friend, is unmatched work ethic right there.
I'm all the time, man. Just going, and it's been a journey, man. Just like when I was like, all right, I'm gonna do the writing thing, and working with people down here, and just trying to figure out how to even get into that, because like as an artist, it's like I could just put stuff out, and people are gonna watch it, they're gonna stream it, they're gonna do whatever. As a writer, it's harder sometimes to get in, or it was hard. Like I had to like go to LA first and like get respect out there in a sense before I came back here and everyone was like, oh, okay, it's Kurtiz, yo, he's out in LA working.
Yeah,
It's so
he's
weird. Like
working.
it's weird. I don't get it, but when people see that you're in like Los Angeles working,
Yeah, it looks big time.
it makes you more official. So it was so funny. I go to studios down here after like being in LA and being in like sessions with like XYZ or being in these big studios. Or
I remember you took us to Circle House, bro, and that's like as big as it gets almost in Miami. Is like Circle House
man.
Studios.
Yeah, Circle House is that's one of my like favorite studios down here. The vibe is like really cool and stuff.
They got that fire lemonade too.
Yeah. So like Circle House is dope, but it's so crazy. Like, yeah, being out in LA and yeah, coming back here. And then it's like you walk in the studio and the way they introduce you, it's like, yo, this is Kurtiz, yo, super dope writer, yo, he be out in LA working. And then when other people hear LA, like, yo, all right. So it's interesting, but yeah, it's been a journey, man. Like my first times going out to LA, like I booked, I booked a plane ticket, and I had like a couple friends out there, but I booked a plane ticket not even like having any sessions, not knowing if I was gonna get any sessions.
You just knew what the mission was.
Yeah, man. Just I was working, saved up, ticket, LA. Thankfully the sessions went well, and like, people liked me, and then it's almost like a game. It's like levels, man. Every studio session, every first studio session is almost like you fighting a boss in a video game, and you gotta hope you win, or or you die. If you die, you gotta go home.
Yeah, ain't no respawning like that.
Yeah, if you mess up one time, if you have like a bad session, and you talk yourself up like you're a good writer or you're this, and then you get in a studio with like people who either know a lot of people in the music industry and stuff,
they just got influence,
and you're trash. Word's gonna get around, and no one's gonna want to work with you anymore. But thankfully, fingers crossed, it hasn't happened to me, and hopefully, it never will.
Nah, man, you're too consistent with it seems. And the craziest part is you were doing all this while you were still in school.
Yeah.
Right. So for the people that don't know, Kurtiz here, he went to FSU. Are you still ongoing at FSU, or where you at now?
Yeah. I'm still in FSU, but actually, so I graduated. I got my degree, my undergrad degree in biology, and then I went on to like do like more of like medicine as well. So I'm at Florida State's like medical school for their like physician assistant program. So yeah, man, I've been doing that, which is crazy. That's crazy. That's insane.
Well, it's crazy to hear that like you balance all this out. Because I'll tell you one thing, like I work a full-time job, I run the podcast, like that feels like enough as it is. It's like crazy to hear that like you're working on your music, you're working on other people's music, you're bouncing back between like here, LA, New York, and all kinds of other places. And you're balancing being a full-time student pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel like you could get to these younger artists to, like, let them know that, like, hey, like, it's all about, like, what you put into it?
That's literally, yeah, man. I always say that you'll make time for what's important to you. You'll make time for who's important to you and what's important to you. And, me growing up and, being in school or doing music, people were always like, well, you got to pick one, or, what's going to happen when you do this? And I was like, I mean, why do I have to pick one? Why can't I just do what I want to do, which is, both? And I made it work. I'm, this past year, I'm up in Tallahassee. I have 3 huge exams a week, man, over like 100, and who knows how many exams I've had over the year studying for that, going to school, going back, had like, I had to set up a studio in my apartment just so I could keep working, just if I couldn't travel a lot. So I'm, writing hooks, I'm writing songs, I'm sending them out. I'm having freaking FaceTime studio sessions. And when I can, like I'm going to LA, even if it was for like 2 days, going to LA, like running around LA like a madman, studios, and not sleeping at all, flying back to Florida, but you got to get it done.
Yeah, and I even remember at a time like you almost overexhausted yourself. You ended up in the hospital too one time with it.
Not for that. It was just like I've like had moments where I've passed out before, just off of like not stopping, man.
And that's finding out balance right there. Is like, all right, what can I balance as a human? Because like, and that's another thing I feel like a lot of people do, and like it's almost like a sad reality too, with some sense in the music industry, is that like a lot of these younger artists, they feel like if I just push myself to the limits, that I'll get things done. But how they push themselves to the limits is that they try taking like these drugs so they can stay up all night. So another fun fact about you is you don't do no drugs.
I don't.
And that's rare in the music industry, obviously, nowadays, right? And I've tried getting you to smoke before. I've told you, I was like, Kurt, come on, man. Like, you could smoke with me. Like, just take one hit, and no, it's still no. So it's like, I like that example because even like earlier today, I was on Twitter and like someone was bringing up like the idea that like people are popping perks thinking it's like the limitless pill, and like these people are like, you know, going to get a whole lot done off it. You're not required to like do any of these things to be successful in this industry. What drives you in this industry and what's going to make you successful in this industry is your work ethic, your persistence, your consistency, and just, you know, having the heart, literally just loving what you do.
Yeah, man. I've always been someone who, like, if I ever do anything, I wanted it to be because it was off of me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't ever want to, let's say, like, smoke or something and then go to studio session and then I write like some crazy shit, like the best song ever. And then, you know, because I was under the influence, and then people want something else like that. And then God forbid, like, I couldn't do it again because I don't have that, you know what I'm saying? So I always want, like, anything you hear from me, like, it was because it was when I was like sober minded and I could do it again because I wasn't taking anything to help me do it. Or, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that like people can't be creative without taking, you know, smoking or doing whatever, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be able to make sure that what I make is strictly from like Kurtiz and no outside influences, if that makes any sense.
What works for Kurtiz works.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like a lot of people don't realize. And like, even for myself, like I smoke, but like the thing is like I would never pressure myself to take none of these pills. I've tried some here and there, but it's like at the same time, it's got to be what works for you. And it's like, I'm not even encouraging the idea that you should be popping pills or anything like that. That's a terrible idea. But what works for you is the ethic you create, the work ethic you create, and just the passion you have toward the craft.
Yeah. And also, I mean, with popping pills and all that stuff too, you got to be careful because you can get addicted to them. You know what I'm saying?
We've seen some people go through some crazy shit. They've come out of that shit. And then some people, you know, they're still going through it. I wish everybody the best, but it's no joke when it comes to these things. I feel like you're a good example, though, of like, you know, showing that it's like this stuff isn't required if you want to be successful within this industry.
Oh, man. Just the drive, man. The dream, the 2 Ds, man. The dream and the drive. That's all you need.
I like that. I like that. So I'm going to take it a little bit different here. So recently you saw Uncut Gems, didn't you?
I saw that.
Yo, I'm about to go see that at 4 p.m. today. So I need you to tell me, what am I in for with this movie? What could the people expect as far as Uncut Gems goes?
Okay. Well,
you know I love my movies, bro.
I'll put it like this. If you know me personally, you know I'm a pretty like mellow dude, and like I'm always just like 100% on chill mode. That's just me. That movie had me like anxious the entire 2 minutes, and it was weird too because I realized it and I was like, yo, man, this feels weird. It's weird. I was talking to a friend of ours, Johnny, before I watched it.
Yo, shout out Johnny. Shout out Specified Fiction.
Word. Shout out Specified Fiction, Vintage Stereo, and all you guys.
Hell yeah.
He was telling me, yo, this movie's crazy. It's the best movie. And like I saw the previews, but that was it. I didn't really think
because you see Adam Sandler, you're almost like thinking like, but he's made for comedy.
Yeah. So I feel like in this movie, Adam Sandler, this is the first time I've actually seen Adam Sandler act, if that makes any sense. In the comedy movies,
well, I feel like maybe aside from Click, even though Click was partially a comedy, I feel like that was like his best movie. I haven't seen this one yet, so I don't want to say for certain if it is after this movie, but a lot of the reviews have been saying like this is actually Adam Sandler's best movie aside from like, if you're looking like for him to do something aside from his comedies, like this has been his best movie by far.
Yeah. I feel like in the comedy movies, Adam Sandler, he's just being himself. And I feel I haven't met him, but I feel like he's just a naturally like goofy, funny dude. But this was like him portraying a character that I've not seen before, and I didn't know where the movie was going. Maybe that's why I was so anxious about it too, but I just literally didn't know where the movie was going at any minute.
Yeah, and they said he actually went to like the Diamond District. He studied how like they dressed, how they spoke, you know, just like he imitated their image out there. And that's a very like tough image to like really replicate.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the Diamond District? It's a wild spot.
Not in New York.
It's a wild spot. I haven't like been in none of the shops, but I remember like walking through it quite a few times. It's just like very fast paced, like people trying to get you to buy like very high priced items and stuff. It's just a wild place. It's almost like legal drug dealing on one street of New York.
Yeah, and not to ruin the movie for you or anything, but you'll see. It's very lots of money going around, and
I'm gonna give my review on the next episode. But I wanted you to kind of give people a preview on that. So speaking of movies, now if there was a Kurtiz the Kid movie, who would you want to play, or who would you want to have play you? I'm sorry.
If there was a Kurtiz the Kid movie, who would I want to play me? I would say maybe Will Smith. Obviously, he looks nothing like me.
Yeah.
But just off of the cool, like funny guy, rapper sort of thing.
You know who I could kind of see play you? Mashahira Ali.
Oh. Yeah.
I could see him kind of play you. You guys kind of like resemble each other in a sense. And then like I feel like he matches your vibe because he's always like very like low key in a movie.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like he would at least give you like that Oscar worthy performance. Or Oscars, I was almost gonna say Grammys.
Yeah. I only said Will Smith just because of the musical background, but
oh, that does make sense too. But apparently Mashahira Ali, he freestyles.
Oh really?
I was watching the Griselda interview on Sway, and they were saying how he's a fan of them. And Sway told them, and they were like, "Yo, you know he spits, right?" And they were like, "Yeah, he's actually like come in the studio with us, like, and just like chopped it up a little bit and like showed us."
Yeah. So I gotta check that out.
You could kind of fit your description there. All right. Well, that was dope, man. I could see that. I could see that happening.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's you gotta send me that link.
I got you.
Send me that link.
I got you. But we're probably gonna wrap things up with that. So you want to shout out your social media or anything for the people?
Yeah, shout out. Follow me on Instagram at KurtizTheKid, which is at Kurtiz the Kid. Twitter, same thing. Snapchat, same thing. Lots of music coming out very soon. Personal music. Also a lot of music that I've written for other artists will be coming out this year too. A lot of like pretty big records and I'm excited about. That's it, man. Last word of advice, like I said, man, 2 Ds. The dream and the drive. If you got a dream, keep pushing for it. And also just remember that when you get into the door, because a lot of people are like, yo, I just got to get in the door. And once I get into the door, that's it. I made it. But no, when you get into the door, you realize that there are levels. It's a skyscraper and the elevator's broken.
All you got is a map.
All you got is a map. There's no escalator. The elevators are broken, and you gotta take the stairs, and you gotta keep working. So this last decade was me. I feel like getting into the door, and I'm working my way up the stairs right now.
You started jumping up the flight.
I'm excited about like I said, man. It was just this decade was just about me. Like I said, man, doing the artist thing, and then I'm gonna start trying to like write, and it's been kind of crazy. Like every single big writer, producer that you could like possibly think of, or that I would have wanted to come into contact with, like I have, and I've been in the studio with like a lot of them, and I'm working with a lot of them, and a lot of artists. I'm working with like a lot of artists as well. I'm traveling. I got a really, really dope team behind me now. I was like, I need my publishing deal. Like I got my publishing deal. I got in the door, but like, there are a lot of other people in the door as well. More people than you think are in the door. So now it's just like, who doesn't quit now climbing the stairs?
It's like Black Friday almost.
Yeah, man. Like. And the stairs it's a mountain, man, Mount Everest, and people are climbing, and some people stop to take a break, but if you stop to take a break, there's someone else that didn't stop to take a break, and they're still going.
You want to know what's a crazy saying I heard? So my girl does jujitsu, and we're at her class, and she was like graduating from one belt to another, and like the speech the guy said, her instructor said was, if you take a month off, it's gonna take you 3 to get back to where you are.
Yeah,
and that is so damn true. It's like, it's like you could climb and climb and climb, but if you stop, you got to make up for all that time you missed. And not only that, now you got to catch yourself up to where you should have been.
Yeah.
It's where a lot of people sleep on, man.
So you cannot stop in anything in life. It's obviously important to like know when you're overworking yourself, but don't stop out of laziness or, if you got to stop, it has to be out of like necessity. You got
to heal, to recoup,
just to recharge and stuff. But out of laziness, I'll pick it up later. Like no, because there's another person who kept going and they might have taken your spot, your blessing. You know what I'm saying? So you can't stop about that. But yeah, man, that's my little word of advice. Like I said, man, lots of records coming soon. I've been grinding like crazy. I know if you follow me on social media, you've seen I'm in the studio all the time, and I put like little clips of like songs that I'm writing and stuff. So like I can't like put the whole thing on just because you don't know like who's gonna take the record, and you don't want to like have the song leak before or anything. But yeah, man, my own personal music too. I'm really excited about. Like I said, like I kind of strayed away from the artist thing because I was just kind of like more having fun with the writing. But then everyone in the studio I'm with, they're like, yo, you should be putting some of this stuff out too, because they're like, yo, man, some of these songs, like, if you're writing a record for like XYZ artists, they can't deliver it the way you've delivered it, and you've done that. And so these past like few months, when I decided like, all right, I'm gonna start doing music again, it was weird because I had to kind of, when you're writing for so many other people, you're like, all right, let's say, shoot, I'm doing I'm writing a record for Jeremiah or Jason Derulo or something. You have to be in that mind frame. Or if I'm writing a record for one of like the Fifth Harmony girls or something like that, you know what I'm saying? It has to be catchy. It has to be this. It has to be radio friendly. It has to be, you know what I'm saying? You have so many rules, and in doing that, sometimes you lose like who you are.
Yeah, because you're not thinking in your capacity no more. You have to put your mindset into theirs.
So then I had to like be like, all right, who am I now? And who do I sound like? Or, so I had to go back in and be like, all right, take some time and throw away all those other rules that I've been using to write all these other records for everyone else and just create for myself, without any limits. And I'm really happy with the records I have, and the plan is to drop, provided that I don't know, I'm not sure yet if it's gonna be too much or anything, but the plan is to drop like a record like every 2 weeks this year.
Okay.
If not, we'll push back a little bit if it's a little bit too much. But first record's coming out. This one's not even, it's me on it, but I'm not releasing this one as myself. It's with a DJ out in France. So this is more like a party festival type record. So just to make you guys dance to the new decade. But after that, we're coming, man. So I let you hear that one record in the car a couple weeks back.
Well, there was a couple of them.
Yeah. So I'll let you hear a few of them, and those aren't even like the fire ones yet. So
well, when you start dropping, if you want to come by and drop one live on the air,
sure,
we could do that. We could set up the
man.
Live stream and get to them and let them know what's up right then and there.
Man, we got to do it.
I'm about that, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, bro, it was a pleasure having you. Y'all make sure you follow Kurtiz the Kid.
Thank you for having me on this, man, and I appreciate it, man. And
you already know
what you're doing right now is like, this is really dope, man. Like,
hey, I'm trying one day at a time, man. That's all.
It's dope. I like it, man, and I love how you're showcasing a lot of like the artists out here in the West Side as well.
I feel like that's what we got to do. We got to band together, from the home team and just work together because I feel like we're stronger in numbers than people know.
Yeah,
the West Side's an army.
Yo, where we live, it's weird. Like this area, I just feel like I don't know what was in like the environment, but the talent here, and everyone is like killing it in something, in some fashion, which is really dope. And I love it, man. I feel like I've always been like around everything happening in the West Side, but I was more like in the background, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because you were in Tally for a decent amount of time too.
And I was, but I see everyone, man, and I listen to like a lot of you guys. And I love everything, and I think it's really dope what you're doing, and any other artists from the West Side or wherever, you know what I'm saying? If you should definitely hit this guy up and try to get on here. Cause
y'all got my credentials. at Emano Talk. Y'all hit me up. I'd love to have you on the show if you haven't been already. We got to put the West Side on our back. We about to make this shit happen.
Yeah, West Side, West Side, West Side.
Hey, but shout out to you, Kurt. Thank you for all the wise words you're providing everybody, because I feel like you got a lot more time and, you know, understanding about this business than a lot of people do. And I feel like that's what a lot of people needed to know about, because they know who you are. I feel like they've heard your songs probably in the past, but they don't know Kurtiz.
Yeah, man. I'm not really, it's weird. I'm not out there like that. I'm trying to be, or I want to be now, like with this like all this new music I'm coming. So I'm just trying to figure out how to let people know more about who Kurtiz is.
Hey,
and,
like, you got a platform here for that.
Yeah. So like, if you know me personally, you know who I am or what I'm about. And if you don't, I hope this interview shed a little bit of light on that. And once I figure out how, we'll let you guys in more on my life, because this is I like to think I live a very interesting life that a lot of people don't.
You do. I know you. I know you on a more personal level. You live a very interesting life because you're a very interesting person.
Yeah. So
things that would make no sense if I talked about it on air, but I know you, bro.
Yeah.
I
so
know
nah, it's dope, man. And like I said, man, shout out to the West Side, all the artists coming out here, man. I'm rooting for every last one of you guys, and I hope you guys are rooting for me as well. Anybody, all the writers that I work with, whether in here or LA, Atlanta, all the producers, thank you guys for giving me an opportunity. Shout out to Vibes Music Group. Shout out to Hatcher Entertainment. Love you guys, my team. All the other record labels that I do stuff with, or for artists or hooks or records or whatever, Universal, Sony.
Shout out that boy Sorta Loose for getting sponsored.
Oh yeah. Shout out Sorta Loose, man. That's my guy right there. So
that boy got sponsored.
Yeah, man.
He said get sponsored 2019. He got sponsored at the very end of 2019.
Man. I actually just got off the phone with Sorta Loose before I came here, and he had a little adventure last night. So
when doesn't he?
Yeah, I have some crazy adventures with him, but
I gotta have both y'all pull up one day, because
yeah,
they don't know that y'all are the Art Basel people like that. So I gotta have both y'all pull up together one time. That would be a wild episode, man.
Yeah.
Hey, but once again, I appreciate you pulling up, bro. I appreciate everything you do. I appreciate the love you're showing, telling people to come on the show. But y'all make sure y'all follow Kurtiz the Kid, man. He's one dope artist. He's got a lot of wisdom, and you could learn a lot from somebody like this. But make sure y'all follow us on social media as well. That's at Emano Talk on all social media platforms. That's at EMANOTALK. You could subscribe, rate, and listen on all podcast platforms. We're now officially on iHeartRadio. And we actually also have a YouTube channel that this video will be on. So make sure you subscribe, rate, comment, all that good stuff as well. You can also listen completely free on our website, emanotalk.com. You have 4 days left to purchase your Emano Talk merch. Kurt, show them the shirt one more time. Y'all see the hoodie right here. Well, that's the Caroline shirt, bro. Shout out Caroline, too. But, man, come on. I got to plug my stuff a little bit here.
Caroline, shout out.
Yeah, we got the Emano Talk merch right here. Y'all got 4 days to get this before this version of the merch is gone forever. Hopefully, we'll have some up in 2020. We don't know when. We're working on it. But if you wanted some of this merch specifically, get it now before it is gone forever. You have 4 days. All right. But with that being said, Kurt, once again, thank you for pulling on up. Thank you, everybody who's tuning on in today. Shout out Bill Goldberg on his very first episode of Emano Talk. But much love, y'all. I hope you guys have yourselves a very wonderful new year, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you.